All right, so about a week and a half ago, remember I was on here talking about how somebody asked me how to deal with hate, and I was like, I'll tell you a story about it. And I just never kind of got around to it. You remember I deactivated the TikTok for a little bit, and I came back or whatever, and then I posted about the DL. So I wanted to make that video. I wanted to stay true to that, because I do appreciate you asking for my opinion or my perspective on it, because I like yapping. All right, so you know, you can't handle hate the same way, and it's contingent on a lot of different things, and what I say might not work for you. But you know, I'm a big advocate on everybody having more important shit to worry about. I got more important shit to worry about, so I'm not gonna talk shit about somebody or bring them down. If somebody comes on the internet or comes to me for help, I'm gonna help them. I'm not gonna bring them down. I'm not gonna make them feel guilty for being in the circumstance they're in, because at the end of the day, if they have a problem, the most important thing is helping them find a solution. What comes after, you pass it along. It's no different than a physician giving you referral to a dermatologist because you got this weird ass rash, but you got a systemic issue going on. Hey, go to a dermatologist, let them look at it, and then once they get that skin shit together, then come back to me. Then you go to a cardiologist for a heart. It's no different than that. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you drink some bullshit and go to the fucking hospital and they're like, damn, he drunk this and it's corrosive as fuck, they're not going to sit around and poke you and point at you and say, why'd you do that dumb shit? They're going to fix that, and then you'll see probably a fucking therapist to figure out why the fuck you did it. You see what I'm saying? It's all team effort, and we all can be a team out here. But people are so fucking fixated on bringing other people down and pointing their finger and doing this and doing that. So don't let me lose you. But the whole thing is with dealing with hate. Let me tell you a story, bro. Let me tell you a story. You know I love telling stories, all right? So, in the past, I've talked about this before. You know, I've always dated women that I wasn't physically attracted to. It wasn't something that I did on purpose. It just happened. Because I look at the beauty inside. Like, as long as I can find beauty in you, we're good. It has to be your personality, your perspective, something. And you got to understand me. You get me? And I feel like people that do understand me, we have a lot of fun, bro. We always laugh together. We had a good fucking time. Now, here's the thing. You know, every single one of them relationships usually ended because of sex. I couldn't get intimate with them. Now, a lot of that is my fault, because when I get in these relationships with these women, I gas them up. Gas them. Because I want them to feel beautiful. I understand I'm not physically attracted to you, but I want you to feel like you the shit. I mean, it is what it is, all right? So I gas them. But then it becomes a discrepancy between what I'm saying and how I'm moving, right? So I got out of a relationship. She was biracial. Got out of a relationship with her. And then I ended up in like a situation with this dark-skinned West African. All right, this was in college. So here I am, messing around with her, falling into the same fucking cycle. And I told myself I was going to make a conscious effort to not put myself in this situation again, because this wasn't the first time I did it. You know what I mean? And I told myself, yo, come on, like, let's do better. All right. Anyways, so I'm in a relationship with her, or a situationship. We're getting to know each other, and everything's cool at first. Like, she's super, you know, infatuated with me. You know what I mean? She thinks she loves me. We're having a good time. We're laughing. We're talking for hours on end, bro. I'm talking about hours. And things start kind of turning, because now the expectation is, at first, he's being respectful. He's doing this. He's doing that. It's like, no, I'm not being respectful. I have to really, really, like, try to get intimate with you. And I knew once we got to that point, this shit was going to crumble, because I don't want to say she was possessed by a lust demon, but damn, did she love sex. Whew. So anyways, long story short, bro, I just can't. And during the process, she's doing things to preserve her self-esteem. One, she's telling me, yo, you don't like porn because you're insecure. So she's trying to like she's trying to create these problems with me, right? Because she's like, well, you don't like porn, he's insecure. So now she's thinking, oh, these are the reasons why he won't have sex with me. He's insecure. Then it was, I think he's down low, right? That's the thing. Like, if you're not super hypersexual, some women that are insecure and they need that sexual validation, you're gonna definitely, I'll bet it cut off. So anyways, Boom, we at that point. She's thinking I'm gay, thinking I'm insecure because I don't watch porn. I don't want to watch two men have sex, or I don't want to watch a man have sex. I don't want to watch two men run a train on a chick. I don't want to watch none of that shit. I'm cool, bro. I'm good. So anyways, keep going. She was like, oh, you're on steroids, so your penis shrunk. That's why you don't want to have sex with me. Steroids doesn't do anything to your penis. She had access to Google. You know what I mean? It doesn't do anything to your actual penis. I never was on steroids. I would never do that anyways. But these are things that she was doing to preserve her self-esteem. Then once those things never like created a behavioral change, she tried like insulting me. Oh, you're a white boy. You're a fucking white boy. You're white. You know what I mean? You're fucking white. You like hiking? You're white. You go fishing? You're white. I'm like, black people fish and hunt and stuff. I hope you know that. No, you're fucking white. So, boom. I end up cutting her off. Because I'm like, at this point, there's really no need for us to be in a relationship. Now, I reached out to a bunch of people like years and years later. After graduating college, just to see how they doing. And she was one person because although she never offended me, I cut her off because it was the intentions. Like, your intention was to hurt me, so you're not a friend of mine. But I didn't hold it against her because I knew where it was coming from. She's very insecure, extremely insecure, and I can give you different examples on why I know that. But let's just stick to the story. But I reached out. Boom. She was in a relationship. You know what I mean? She cool, got a little update. Then she reached out like a few months later after that. Like, hey, can I call you? And I'm like, yeah, hit up. You know what I mean? Called me. She was going through a breakup. Dude broke her fucking heart. She was heartbroken, crying, man. And she got her heart broke by a white dude. And I'm thinking like, damn, I was like, damn, that's weird. So anyways, white dude broke her heart. Couldn't take it. Then she started talking about her previous relationships and how her last relationship really fucked her up. And what happened was he ended up being down low. She told me this whole little story. She got her own apartment, ended up with this dude, and you know, I think he turned her out. Like, got her into the booty eating and shit. You know what I'm saying? I really think that's what happened. Taught her how to suck pee-pee. You know what I mean? All that stuff, bro. But it turned out dude was a DL. But do you see what happened? She put all this energy out there about me being DL, about me being a white boy, about me being insecure, or, you know what I mean, about all these things, and that hypersexual, porn-loving type of personality that she associates with heterosexuality. She probably found that in that DL dude, and it led her down her own demise, bro. So my point is, sometimes you don't have to do anything with hate. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to meet hate with hate all the time. You know what I mean? Understand it. You know what I mean? Acknowledge it, but you don't always have to do something. And that's you know, how I want to respond to that. You know, how do I deal with hate? Sometimes I don't do anything. These motherfuckers really can't do nothing to me, bro. Like, verbally. It is what it is, bro. And half these dudes cannot fight, bro. I've been in too many fights, I'm telling you, bro. A lot of these dudes can't fight. It's embarrassing, bro. And I'm not even saying that to sound tough. I don't want to be I don't want to be the toughest guy, bro. But at the end of the day, if you're not willing to die or go to jail for it, try not to give it like that type of energy. And sometimes, you know, you have a bad day, man. Sometimes people catch you slipping, and sometimes you just gotta show a motherfucker. I mean, I get it. But on the internet, pertaining to what this person was asking me, I think this is a little bit more appropriate. Because a lot of times people are online, they're damaged. They want to fuck people up, bro. They want other people to be hurt. They want other people to be miserable. They want other people to be ugly because they are. You get what I mean? Like, somebody that's rich, they're not over here, you know, jealous of a poor person, like money-wise. You see what I'm saying? Somebody has their dream car. They're not worried about what somebody else is really driving. You see what I'm saying? And somebody that's secure with themselves, they're not worried about other people that are insecure about themselves. They're not trying to bring those people down. They're not, bro. It doesn't really work like that. There's always exceptions to things like I before the E, except after C. You know what I'm saying? There's always exceptions to that. Like, there's always exceptions. But for the most part, people ain't worried about that, bro. If you in a relationship and you love each other and all that, you're not worried about who's in an abusive relationship. You're not jealous of that.